From inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, it's time for North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. North Dakota and Wisconsin have been playing hockey against each other for years. The series dating back to 1968. Combined between them, 13 national championships. Last weekend, the two teams were reunited here inside the Ralph, and it was a series split. Wisconsin winning on Friday, North Dakota winning on Saturday. Coach, good to be back with you again. You kind of had to hit the reset button following Friday night's loss, the first of the regular season, but you came out with a dominant performance to finish up the weekend.
Yeah, that's a great word, Dan, is reset. We had to get back to the way we want to play, and we did on Saturday night. I thought on Friday we got away from our game a little bit, and Saturday we got back to it.
It sure seemed that with Saturday there was a mentality of just put a lot of pucks and bodies toward the net.
Yeah, you know, the shot attempts, trying to get pucks to the net, but I think it was most of all the intensity or our aggressive play. You know, we had a lot more finished checks on Saturday night, which established our play in their end of the rink. So I think our physicality took it up a notch. Wisconsin's
going to win more than 4 games this year, what they did last year.
Yeah, they're a lot better than what their previous season's record was, and the way they play hard, they play intense. They're going to win some games, and their goaltender, you know, they have a goaltender now that's stopping pucks, and that helps.
All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights. Wisconsin wins 3-1 on Friday. North Dakota wins by the same score on Saturday.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Engelstad Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Welcome back. Despite the two teams going different conferences, you and Wisconsin, Coach, continue to play on an annual basis. You swept the Badgers in Madison last year, and the two teams back together. Let's take a look at Friday night's highlights here. And you come into this game with the best start to a regular season in 16 years, fresh off an NCHC series sweep of Colorado College. And there were encouraging signs here over the first 8 minutes of this game, Coach, including a tone of physicality to begin the hockey game.
Yeah, I thought we started the game reasonably well. You know, all 4 lines got into it, 6 defensemen, and again, that's the key that we want to have every single game.
Well, you had a couple of grade A scoring chances early in the first period, too.
Yeah, we got a couple of pucks to the net right away, and obviously their goaltender made a couple of big saves, which helped them get into the game.
Brent Chizik with a chance. Later on, Johnny Simonson from the near circle had a good chance here.
Yeah, you know, I thought that line played extremely well all weekend. Simonson's line, obviously turnover there, and you know, their goalie made a big save. It could have been 2-0 early.
It could have been 2-0. This scoreless here, but you do take the lead 7.5 minutes into the game, and when Luke Johnson gets the puck in this scoring situation, he doesn't miss many times.
No, such a quick release, and it's a heavy release, and again, it catches goaltenders sometimes because how hard a shot it is.
So it's 1-0, 7.5 minutes in the game. We look at this play again, and Austin Pagansky makes a really nice play to set up Luke Johnson.
Yeah, well, it all started with our neutral zone forecheck, our 1-2-2, created a turnover by them, and we got the puck, and again, we made no mistake. Luke made a great play to score the goal.
Johnson beats Matt Jarusik to the short side, so it's 1-0, but the lead didn't last long. 3 minutes later, the Badgers will tie the hockey game here, and it's just a traffic jam at the net, really.
Yeah, they had a mentality of getting the puck to the net. They whip a puck, and then we didn't get the box out. They had more bodies than we did, and again, they jammed the puck in under the pad of Matt.
And really tough, even for any goaltender, when you get this many people in this small of an area and sticks jamming away at a puck that is free here as we take a look at the over-top replay.
Yeah, it is free, but that's a mindset of, again, we have to make sure we box out. We have defensive positioning ahead of them as far as in our crease area.
How about your shifts following that goal?
You know, I thought we followed up with a good push back there. You know, obviously the one thing is we wanted to make sure we tighten up in our defensive zone or in the neutral zone, and I thought we were a little bit loose at some times.
All right, so it's 1-1 after 1. We go to the second period now, and Wisconsin will take the lead just 37 seconds into the second period. Good puck movement leading to this.
Yeah, you know, they moved the puck laterally here, and they did this up, these curl-up plays. They did it up a couple of times, and again, we weren't very tight in our house. We talked about that after the game. We had to get stronger and tighter.
Luke Kunin with the goal there. He's one of 5 draft-eligible players in the lineup for the Badgers over the weekend. Really young hockey teams.
Yeah, they're young, but we're young too. And
yeah,
you know, you had 2 very young teams going at it here.
Yeah, in fact, you're the 6th youngest team in the country. Wisconsin, the 4th youngest team in the country. So a lot of youthfulness on the ice.
Absolutely.
All right, a lot of your players after the game on Friday night, talked about that there were too many one-and-dones or one-and-outs in the offensive attack zone.
Yep, and that means we didn't have a second man quick, meaning that if we get a puck to the net or on our forecheck, our second guy wasn't around it. And again, I thought we did a better job on Saturday.
Is that something you'll work on this week?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, 9:06 of the second period. Badgers go up 3-1 now. Now you got a team playing with a little confidence.
Yeah, you know what? You got a 2-goal lead. This team is a very good structured defensive team, and anytime you get a 2-goal lead, they're just going to chip pucks out, which you'll see in the third period.
You called timeout here following that goal to make it 3-1, and you started making some things happen here late in the second period, didn't you think?
Yeah, we did. We started changing the lines around a little bit. We started to get more aggressive with our D-men down the walls, and again, we wanted to try to press them a little bit, knowing that they'd be more of in a defensive structure.
Before the end of the second period, you had a really good scoring opportunity here. Schmaltz and Besser are going to come 2-on-1.
Yeah, you know, I thought in this situation here, when you see the D-men sliding, I thought maybe we should have put a puck to the net there to make them defend the shot. But again, you know, Nick is such a good player. He thought he had Brock on the back door.
Well, he's a pass-think guy first, as we'll see when we look at Saturday's highlights. So 3-1 after 2. Whatever was said between the second and third period certainly showed, because your team came out just with a fierce force in the opening minutes of the third period.
Yeah, you know what, we came out with a big push, and it says a lot about our players and their character. It's just unfortunate we didn't capitalize on it, because I thought we had them on the ropes here for the most part in the first part of the third period.
You outshoot Wisconsin 12-4 in the third period, but just couldn't get another one by Jerusik to maybe really swing momentum here.
Yeah, and part of that is net front traffic, as you can see here too. Sometimes we had good shots to the net, but there was no net front in front of his eyes to create traffic.
Your players, coach, left the arena that night pointing the fingers more at themselves than anything, saying, you know, we were back on our heels a little bit. We let the Badgers dictate play a little bit. So they were looking at themselves.
Yeah, well, you know what? They might have been looking at themselves, but as coaches, we look at ourselves too, as far as preparation and different things like that. So, you know, that's a team mentality of everybody looking at themselves first.
Yeah. 3-1, the final on Friday night. What were some of the emphasis points Saturday morning during practice?
Well, it was, you have to play a harder game. You know, it's about play away from the puck. I didn't think we were a team that was tough to play against. They dictated the play because of their physicality. I thought, you know, they needed to be a little bit stronger in a lot of different areas.
Well, and they certainly were on Saturday night. A much different story, as we'll take a look at North Dakota's win on Saturday night. Coming up next here on North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Welcome back. For the first time this season, North Dakota was in rebound mode Saturday night after Friday night's loss. Coach, let's take a look at Saturday's highlights here, and you got one of your key contributors back in the lineup Saturday. Drake Kajula, who was hit with the one-game suspension, sat out Friday. He was back in Saturday.
Yeah, he was, and again, it was great to have him back, not only from the offensive standpoint, but the leadership standpoint.
Oh, you established a physical tone early in this hockey game, and Paul Ledoux was in the middle of a lot of it. You look at his stats right now. He doesn't have any points, but he's making a lot of plays like this early in the game to get your team going.
That was a point of emphasis, and that's what a great leader does, is he leads by example on the ice, and he was one of our guys leading the charge that night.
You won a lot of face-offs to get you going here, and your approach was early in this game, let's get pucks to the net.
Let's get pucks to the net, and this one's on a power play here, and I thought we did a good job of getting it there, and now just trying to finish off that power play look.
You had 6.5 minutes of power play in the first period, and then little less than 8 minutes into the first period, you'll take a 1-0 lead here, and you always talk about net front presence, and it helped out Christian Lannon here. He gets the opening goal.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting the puck on his tape, but the guys that created it were Joel Janatuinen in front of the net, and then also Rhett Gardner as a secondary layer.
Yeah, Janatuinen, you'll see, and a Badger defenseman are just to the left and in front of Matt Jerusik, and I think it took Jerusik's eyes away from the puck.
It really did. Is he had to look around, and by that time he couldn't make a reaction save, and it was a big deal having Joel in front of the net.
I didn't realize it was hit the post night at the Ralph on Saturday.
Oh,
Four of them your team
man.
had.
We just needed to get 1 or 2 of those in to get going again here.
Yeah, on the power play here, Troy Stetcher said, I want to look at this one again. I want to review. Well, it was reviewed, and this hits with such force that it just bounced back out.
Well, it did, and the one thing about it is usually you get a bounce back on your table and right underneath them.
Yeah. How about this key defensive play by Brock Besser?
Yeah, Brock, it says, you know, highly offensive player, but look at the compete and the battle level on the play away from the puck, coming back to back check and saving a goal there.
And that's stopping Grant Bessie on a shorthanded breakaway attempt late in the first period. So we go to the second period now. How about 88 total shots attempted on Saturday night, Coach? That's a big fat number.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's something that we got to, work on this week as far as, okay, how do we make sure that we can get one or two more goals out of those attempts?
Yeah. And on the other end of it, defensively, limited the Badgers to just 16 shots on goal. Again, you were hawkish toward Badger puck possessors on Saturday.
Yeah, taking away time and space, knowing that we wanted to make sure our end of the rink was clean, and I thought we were.
Besser makes another defensive play there. Austin Pagansky joined the Schmaltz and Kajula line Saturday. How did you evaluate that line on Saturday?
Well, we wanted to shake things up a little bit and create a little bit more balance on each line. I thought we did for the most part. And then in the third period, we went back to the original lines with Kajula, Schmaltz, and Besser together. But I thought Austin did a great job of getting this line going and create a little bit of heaviness early on in the game.
Yeah, and that's the type of things he can do below the goal line and in around the paint right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Luke Johnson continues to play a physical brand of hockey from the center iceman position.
Yeah, he does. He gives it all every night. And again, he's not only a good offensive player, but he plays a heavy game.
You're dominating this game, but yet it's 1-1 after 2.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating in the fact that, you never know when we're going to get our next goal. But we told our guys after the second period, stay with it. Stay with what we're doing.
Trevor Olson igniting your team with a little physicality to begin the third period.
He was that way all night. Even from his opening shift, he was that way.
All right, 6.5 minutes into the third. Schmaltz in alone. You're thinking this is going to be his first goal of the year, but another post.
Another post. Again, doing the right things, staying with it. And we did capitalize here later on.
All right, so it's still 1-1. And then the play of the game, and it's turned in by Johnny Simonson.
Yep. Single-mindedness as far as if you don't have a play, chip it in, go get it, and make a play on the forecheck. And look what he does here. He doesn't really have a play. He's out and already chips it. He goes and gets it. A guy twice his size going to get a puck. Pushes him off the puck, chips it to Gersic, and he capitalizes on it. So great play by Johnny Simonson, all in all.
Wow, that is just such a strong play. Johnny Simonson, 5'8", about $180. Eddie Whitko, 6'3", 2.25.
Yes, and that's mentality. It comes down to sheer mentality and will, and I thought Johnny had it.
Well, not only does he make a good play along the wall, but the presence here to slide the puck back in front is a heck of a part of the play, too.
Absolutely. He had a mindset going into it. He knew what he wanted to do, and he executed from there.
So it's 2-1 here off that. Then your team made a series of key defensive plays to preserve the 2-1 lead coming up here.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job, again, boxing out, closing off the front of the net so they couldn't get pucks to our net, and then also chipping pucks out when we had to.
You saw Troy Stetcher with a key play. There's Janet Tweenan and Nick Schmaltz, and then Keaton Thompson making a couple of key defensive plays here too.
Yep, again, protecting our front of the net area, and again, guys doing what they had to do to do that, including blocking shots.
And Matt Herinke, who didn't see a lot of shots in the game, came up big here on back-to-back chances.
Yeah, he's just growing confidence more and more each game and playing sound, and again, it's nice to see Matt having success.
Still 2-1 at this point. How about Nick Schmaltz? 16-6 in the face-off circle, and it would lead to a goal here, Coach.
It goes to the point of having such quick hands and being detailed in the face-off dot. And I thought Brock Besser did a great job of battling for a puck out, and then we executed here on the 2-on-1, and two good players executed, but it started with Brock Besser on the wall battling with the puck out.
Without a doubt, two dynamic players, 2-on-1, Nick Schmaltz and Drake Kajula. And Schmaltz, I think, here faked out Matt Jerusik. When he kicks his legs and turns his wrists a little bit, I think Jerusik was thinking shot first.
Yeah, he must have after he hit the post earlier in the game, thinking he'd be shooting again. But again, he just froze him for a second, and great execution by those two players.
Drake Kajula said he had no doubt that Schmaltz was going to feed him the puck.
Yeah, pass first mentality.
Yeah, exactly. So 3-1 is the final on Saturday night. A dominant effort, 88 shots attempted, a 3-1 win, and your players after the game said it was a good way to exit the weekend.
I thought we were playing a really good game going into the third period. I think the whole team thought we were playing really well, and it was just a matter of time before we cracked that hot goaltender they had.
It took us 35 shots, I think, to crack them the second time to get that lead, and we just said keep getting pucks to the net, keep getting bodies to the net, and good things will happen. It's we've been doing a good job so far this game, and he's bound to crack at some point, and Gersh's got a goal there, and then Schmaltz made a good play to me, so it took us about 35 shots to crack them, but that's what you need sometimes.
It was a tough series, and it wasn't a pretty series by any means. So I think and right from the drop of the puck, we had a simple, hard mindset, and that helped us out the whole game.
We always talk about how hard the NCHC is. At the same time, non-conference is just as important, just as much of a battle. With the effect it has on the pairwise every single game, that you got to go out there and make it a war and try to find a way to win a hockey game. That's what we did.
Coach, some people externally would take a look at Nick Schmaltz, and he's not scored a goal yet. But that would be very deceiving because, as we saw with his face-off circle wins and what he did over the weekend, he's playing really good hockey.
He really is. And again, like I said, he's distributed the puck reasonably well. He's created offense for us. The biggest thing in his game is his defensive approach to the game. He's playing really hard through the neutral zone and D-zone coverage. He's becoming a total player, and that's the ultimate compliment you can have for a player.
He just seems to be much more hungry this year when he doesn't have the puck that he wants it back.
He does, and that comes from the mentality of being stronger and in the physical areas of the game. He worked out extremely hard this summer, and again, it's given him a chance to play a lot more minutes. And again, he hasn't been rewarded with a goal, but he's had a lot of close opportunities to score.
No doubt about it. Well, two key plays on Saturday night lifted your team to the victory. When we come back, we'll hear from Johnny Simonson, Drake Kajula, as they, in their own words, break down those two key plays.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Well, Saturday night's game was tied at 1 in the third period. Then two key plays changed the outcome of the game. One was just physicality and grittiness by Johnny Simonson. The other featured two dynamic players.
And now Kajula ahead to Simonson. Doesn't have numbers, flips it in.
I had some speed going there, so I kind of chipped it into myself, and then that big defender was going to get to it first, so I just wanted to kind of get a bump on him and get him off balance a little bit, and that worked. So then I was able to, the puck was able to pop free, and I kind of just saw it really quick and put it out to the slot with, I think, with one hand. So credit to Gershich, he anticipated that play really well and made no mistake about finishing the job.
That's just pure heart. Simon was a pure heart player, and Gersh was in the right spot at the right time, and Simon put it right on his tape, and I think they both deserve a lot of credit for that goal.
I knew for a fact he was passing me. We've been practicing together for 2 years now, and he's a pass before shot kind of guy. And I knew it was coming to me at some point, and then I just didn't know how or when. And he made a great pass to me, but I think everyone in the rink might have thought he was shooting. He made a great leg kick, and he looked at the net and then curled his wrist last second. And Dean was about inches away from getting to the puck, but it was just the perfect pass and perfect time, and it was a great play by him.
Coach, two very different plays. I think maybe one thing this weekend your players were visiting with me about is they're not always going to be pretty plays. And I think this weekend was a reminder that there's got to be greasy, dirty, ugly goals in college hockey to be successful.
Absolutely. I think it dictates the way the game is played. Everybody plays so well defensively that you have to try to get on the scoreboard with those greasy goals that you talk about. And that's having great net front, having guys shoot from all angles. And again, there's going to be pretty plays like the Kajula goal, but you have to make sure you have a little bit of both.
And Johnny Simonson, a physical play, nothing new. You take a look at what he did at Lincoln in the USHL, and he's a guy that's not afraid to go to the paint and get his body involved.
No, there's a reason why at the North American League level, at the USHL level, he was their leading scorer in their lineup. It's because he does the right things night in and night out.
Yeah. All right, you're back to NCHC play this weekend. First league series here at home. Miami is in the Ralph this weekend. We'll preview that series next.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Barry on Midco Sports Network is presented by RydellCars.com, Sue Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, and Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Welcome back. North Dakota at home this weekend against Miami, which is off a two-game sweep of its rival Western Michigan last weekend. The Redhawks 2-2 in the NCHC, 5-4-1 overall. Coach, they're only scoring 2 goals per game. What are you seeing out of Miami to this point of the season?
Well, to me, that's not indicative of how they usually play. They're usually a high-powered offensive team, and I think maybe they're going through something right now. But, we got to be prepared of that team playing a fast-paced game, an offensive game, and we got to make sure we're good defensively around that.
Yeah, a couple players that are going well for Miami, one particularly the young freshman, Jack Roslovic, a first-round draft pick like Brock Besser, and he's already got 6 goals this season.
Yeah, he's a dynamic player. He's a good shooter. He's almost like a Brock Besser type player. They got him, they got Coleman, they got Corrali. They've got a lot of good forwards in their lineup, and again, we got to make sure that we play well.
Yeah, Sean Corrali doesn't have a goal yet this year, but again, stats can be misleading. He leads the NCHC in faceoffs won, and just one of the best power forwards in the league again.
He is. He's a big body that wins a lot of faceoffs, and again, if you don't have the right position on him in defensive zone, he can strike.
Yeah. All right, Saturday night, 88 shots attempted, 3 goals.
Yep.
Are there some areas that you'll be looking on to take advantage of even more of those opportunities that you might have moving forward offensively?
Absolutely, but first of all, we want to continue to have that, and that comes with aggressive play and making sure we're on our toes and having a good second man quick in the forecheck. But mostly is when we do get that puck, we have to have a guy on the paint. We have to have layers in front of their net, and we have to make it tough because, like I said, goaltenders are so tough to score on these days. We got to make sure that we have players around the net.
You really shuffled the lines on Saturday night. As you said, the top line ended up being back with the big 3, Schmaltz, Kajula, Besser as the game went on. But going into the game, you had all lines shuffled. What's your approach this week?
Well, I think that just goes to example that we've had success this year, but for one game we lost that game. We wanted to make sure there's no complacency, and again, we wanted to make guys hungry, and I thought they were on Saturday night.
All right, Coach, good luck this weekend against Miami. We'll review the series next week.
Thanks, Dan.
And you'll be able to see both games this weekend live on Midco Sports Network, 7:30 Saturday, 7 o'clock on Friday night. Hope to see you this weekend for North Dakota Miami hockey on Midco Sports Network.